I just realized I wasn't audible. So like I was saying, I was just thanking God for a new day. It's about 6:03 a.m. where I'm at, and just thanking God for a new day. It's a day that the Lord has made, and I, Jamaka, rejoice and be glad in it. So for today, I was just trying to figure out something. For today, we're going to be working on adding um, the CI/CD to our GitHub repository. We can do this using GitHub Actions. So I realized that in my repo, we do not have any form of CI/CD, we don't have any continuous integration pipeline. We do not um, have any form of integration pipeline. We do not have any tests running when the API is open. Give me a minute. We do not have any tests that run on PR level. We do not build the application. We do not essentially do any form of continuous integration check that would require us to have confidence when we're making changes and pushing changes into our main branch. So the reason that I'm going to be adding that today, I didn't have it in my story. I didn't have it on the tickets, original tickets, and I didn't think about it until something happened. So let me show you what happened. There was a failure on our, we use Heroku for our staging API. And there was a failure when we merged the branch into our main branch. So we have on Heroku, we have deploys that we do. Whenever a particular branch is merged into. So what I realized was I just got an email that a build failed. And I was like, huh? I don't understand. But then that would have been easily cut if we had tests running on the PR level and also building the app on the PR level just to validate that the change that's been suggested in the branch is good. So that's what we're going to be working on today. So I have done this a couple of times. I even have a video on how to use GitHub to check, or how to use GitHub to update your packages automatically. So GitHub and Dependabot. But that's not the angle we're going to go for today, like I said. So let's start. This. I think the first thing is we're going to create a repository called github.github. This is required by GitHub, and this is where we would have our workflows live. Workflow. Give me a minute. Done this before, I forget a lot, so I might not remember how this is done. So I'm just going to check my old cells work and see if I can remember everything. Okay, so first is correct. Then we're just going to make a PR. I'm just going to pull it first. And yeah, move file. Laptop is usually slow. Here we come. So We're going to do this, so we can name it. So the first thing is to name this file. We're going to name it pull request. Second thing is to figure out the trigger. So we want this to be on the pull request branch. So on every pull request, we're going to trigger this workflow. And it's okay. I think for us, we use the develop branch for our development branch. We haven't pushed anything to master yet, so usually we open pull requests against the develop branch. So I could specify that here, but I would want this pull request workflow to be run. I would like this pull request workflow to be run on every pull request. Doesn't really matter if we're putting it into develop or if we are putting it into master or main branch. So for that, I'm going to, after doing this, I think the next thing is the jobs. For the jobs, I want to have the unit test job and build job. Just that unit tester. That's one, and then the build job. That's two, right? I have it finish there. Give me a moment, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I wanted to fix my microphone just in case you guys were hearing me properly. So we have two jobs, the unit test job and the build job. Those are the two jobs that we want to be able to verify our code on every pull request. So under the unit test job, we want to do a couple of things. First, we have to specify what machine this is going to run on. So that's the runs on. The laptop is really slow. And let's say we want to run on Ubuntu. So I'm going to say Ubuntu latest. After signifying what machine, what GitHub machine we want to run. And there are different types of GitHub machines, but I typically go with Ubuntu. Then we can specify the steps. And the first step is that we have to check out the branch. We have to check out the source code. So I'm going to say uses actions / checkout version 2. Also, we would want to add the tests, like the job or the step to run our test. So I'm just going to name it run test, and for this we're going to do users, because this is a node application. We're going to have to use an action that helps us to set up node. I'm going to do set up node version 2. And then let's see, after using the action to set up node, then you can also specify the version. I tend to do this, and I always use 14. You can use 16 if you want, but I like to use 14 just because it has long-term support. think 16 has long-term support as well. I'm not sure. I don't know. So after setting up this, then we want to run the tests, right? So we can use the run expression and just run. So for us on the test, we want to be able to run npm. I think we have npm test. Let me check our package.json just to be sure. Yep, we have npm test. So if we try, for instance, to do in our terminal here npm test, let's see if it's going to pick up all the tests and run those. Okay, it's picking up all the tests. Alright, cool. It's picking up all the tests and that is good. So we can just lift the script, this npm test script. I would add it to our YAML file. So we have npm test, and that's what we can use. And that's all. That's all for the unit test job. So what this just means is we have a job that helps us verify that the PR we are opening, all the tests run okay. The second one is going to be the build step, which is kind of the same thing, so I'm just going to copy everything here. I'm going to paste it here. I don't know why this never pastes well. Never pastes well. So if you're working, I've worked on migrating an entire pipeline before to GitHub Actions, and if you're working on that and you're just pasting, you're doing yourself a great disservice. So here, instead of just npm test, we're going to do two here. We're going to run npm ci, which is to install in the CI, and then we're going to do npm build. Yeah, npm build. So this is all we need for this pull requests workflow. We just need two jobs, unit test and build job, and this will be run every time APR is open. So let's take it out for a spin. That's all we need actually. Creating a continuous integration pipeline in GitHub Actions is really delightful. I really enjoyed it so far. Before GitHub, I never used to create CI pipelines, CI/CD pipelines, mainly because it's seen as a Devops job. But since I've been opportune to work with GitHub Actions, it's been very delightful experience. I tend to work a lot now with the continuous integration pipeline, helping to improve it, helping to demystify it and understand it. And yeah, and it's very different from, this is not very verbose, but at work, unfortunately I can show you my office work, but at work our workflows are ridiculously large, and that's because we do a lot of setup and we also run the GitHub. We do not use the GitHub default runners. We have our own self-hosted runners, and that kind of multiplies the complexity, if you will. So it's been a delightful experience working with GitHub Actions, and I think for me it's wonderful. It's in the same repository. You can figure out what is wrong very quickly. There is there's an actions tab. I'll show us when I push this. There's an actions tab where you can monitor your pipeline, and it's just great. It's just great. So I'm going to check out to a branch, and I'm going to say Github Actions CI. What happened? Jeez. Why does this always happen to me? For some reason I just mess up something and then I hate typing. Git go. That's how much I hate typing. Because this git go is git checkout -b. Can't be typing that all the time. Jeez. I hate typing. So I'm just going to do this here. I'm going to add these two files. I'm going to say GitHub add CI pipeline using GitHub Actions and fix test. I'm going to commit this. Let's see. Did it work? Okay. So we can check the logs, and we have our log there. We have our commit there. So I'm just going to create a new PR. Okay, I'm just going to go through all this and submit, and then I can open this. And open the pull request. Okay. Now I'm going to show you let's see. Nothing is set up. That's weird. This should work. This branch has not been deployed. Seems like we might have to put a branch on which, let me just test this, because this is a pull request. It should work when a pull request is open, even though this code is not yet on the develop branch. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to specify it to like this. I'm just going to do that. And not done for this. I have some changes I don't want to add again, as I can do git add all. So let's see. Just thinking, let's see. First, add specific branches. Why's my laptop so slow? It's uber disgusting. I hate slow laptops, I hate slow internets. Specific branches to pull request trigger. And I know this is something I could just, fix. But I love to write very, very expressive and meaningful commit messages, because I'm a forgetful person, and it really helps me out, to be honest. I'm very forgetful, and it helps me to be able to, This is very weird. So this is our unit test and our build. Because I was like, this should work. So let me show you this on so this is the actions tab. Okay, it's failing, we'll figure out why. But this is the actions tab, and in the actions tab you can see all the workflows that you have. For us, we just have one workflow, which is pull request, and this is the PR that we've opened against develop. That's why it's been triggered. So very interesting to note, you have to specify the branches that you want this to run against. No, that didn't make sense. We have to specify the branches that we want the PRs to run against if we are trying to integrate our code into that branch. So for instance, for us it's developer master. I think it's main. I don't know, I haven't used it yet. So this is giving an error. I'm saying invalid name. Okay. It might look like I might have to change the name. Build, same thing, invalid name. Okay. The issue is this name here. I'm just going to change this and change package that is name. Let's see what the issue was in the build. Say invalid package name. Okay, so change name in package.json. Alright, so we're going to commit this. We're going to push it. So we're going to get, this is going to get triggered again. And let's see if this runs. Also, I think one improvement for me would be we would want to run the test first, then run the build. Still failing. Just not found. Perfect. So why this is failing is because we're setting up Node, we have npm, but jest is not being it's not found, and that's because in our packages.json we have jest. Let's see, just we have jest in dev dependencies, but we're not installing the packages. That's the problem. So the same thing that we did for the build, we're going to do the same thing here, where we add the npm CI. And we're going to say add install step to unit test job. Okay, so good. I'll push again. This is our third attempt, so you see here pull request number 3. Right. Now we can see our unit test and build. Now we'll be able to run the npm CI, which is just the equivalent of npm install inside of CI, for instance. Fantastic. So now we've been able to catch at a at a PR level a bug. This is just giving us missing credentials for playing. I don't know why. Missing credentials. We can figure out this problem. This doesn't feel locally. Let's see. I think this happens when password is not good, something like that. 3, blah blah blah. Oh, okay. I think in the mail, send mail service, I have this process. Yeah. Okay, so now the question is, how do we use our env file inside of the CI? One way I can think of is secrets as the equivalent of this .env. What I don't know is if secrets are passed into the process environment. Let's figure that out. GitHub secrets. Pass to the process with node. Okay, let's see. Okay. So we can do a touch for the env and then echo what is in the secrets into the env file. Okay, I think we can try that. So for us, that's what is failing right now. So let's go to our pull request and we can enter the run. We can touch the env and then echo. I think what we want is just this for now. We can echo. Gosh, my laptop is so slow. Let's see you echo this. What the hell? Echo this, and I think this is how it's created. Okay. On this. There's nothing. Okay, let's just try this because I'm not sure. Okay. We have secrets dot ethereal email, and then we're going to write that into the env file. We also want to do the same thing for the pass as well. I don't know. Okay, let's try this. Let's just say in the CI, I'm going to say echo she into, let's just create a test file. So let's just touch test and then echo she into test. Okay, we'll echo my last name into test as well, and then let's see test. Okay, echoes both of them in, so that's fine. I'm just trying to verify if this would work. The real password. Alright, let's see the env file and actually see the values. Oh shit, I'm not supposed to put that up. Excuse me for a little bit. So you're just going to be seeing my face for now until I'm done setting this up. Secrets, you know, you don't want your secrets to be out there. So I'm going to set this up. I think I'm going to let me see. So we just go to settings, secrets. Let me show this. So in settings, we go to secrets, and we want to put in the actions. And then here we can create a new repository secret. I'm going to be creating it's the real evil. I'm going to be creating this one. And I'm going to put in the secret value. Just give me a moment. Add that to secret. I'm going to do the same thing quickly for the second secret. I'm gonna add that. Okay, I can share my screen. So we have the two repository secrets. Right now we can't see this because it's supposed to be a secret, and this secret will be injected into our GitHub workflow. So excuse me, let me just check that everything is okay. Okay, all right, we're done setting up the secrets, and what we're doing is we're reading the value that we've put in the secrets. I will put as a repository secrets. We're reading that value here, and in GitHub Actions you can access any of the secrets that you've saved using the secrets dots, whatever name you give it, right? So for us here, these are the secrets that we need. So what we've done here essentially is to create a touch file and then put this into the env file. So we just touch the file. Touching the file just means to create the file. We echo this into the file, and then we run npm ci and npm test. I think we can commit this now. Let's see if that is going to work. Let's see. Starting here, so we're doing just. One test has passed, the other one still is failing. Let's see, still the same error. The touch file is done. So look at this. I made a mistake. My bad. Here supposed to be password. I didn't change that. Fix. And test again. Hopefully this works. I think that sound is my computer. Please forgive me. It's just like, it's crazy. Hold on, I'm just trying to figure something out on my computer. See, it failed, but still the same failure. Let's see if this before. This is not being, it's not gotten, because you see this asterisk, it indicates the secret that we're saving. Ethereal password. And let me go check again. Mistake with the will pass. My bad. You make these mistakes, you learn from them, yada yada yada. So password is pass. Edit. Okay, try again. Oh, isn't it lovely to just see X everywhere? How lovely. Okay, build step has started, test started. I can't see if it's gonna work or not, so I'm just gonna keep quiet and watch. Oh, it worked! Yay! Yay! Okay, awesome. So it's working. One thing I would like to do is I would like to do the unit test first, then the build. Just because I love the way it's going to look. You'll see how it look here. And I think it makes sense to test the code first before you build it. So what we need for that is just a step. A property here called needs. And you can see it says identifies any job that must complete successfully before this job will run. So we're putting this needs on the build job, and we can use this to identify any jobs that must be run successfully before the build job can be triggered. The only job we have is unit tests, so we're just going to put unit test. That's what we want to run. So say add needs, and then say run unit test before build job. I'm going to commit that, and we're going to push. So if you look at it now, instead of it being stacked on top of each other. It's now, side by side. So this has to run first, and when this is done, it would trigger this. So I think we can look at our PR right now to kind of so we can get feedback on every PR that we open, and we see that these checks must be run. So unit test will be run. After unit test is run, it will trigger the build. And as you can see here, after unit test is run, the build is now running. And when they are both good, then we can merge into the PR. We can merge the PR into the branch that we're trying to merge into. Okay, so I'm just going to show our checks. And one last thing I want to do is, we don't want people to be able to merge the code if the CI fails. So we have to put that instruction proceeds. Then we have to make this required. We can do that in settings. Do I remember where that is? I think it's this settings. Because there are two settings in GitHub and it's very confusing. Where's that? I don't think I remember. It's not here. Okay, I think. See here? No. I think it's on this settings then, not on the general settings. It's actions, okay. Branches, develop branch. Let's see. Nope, I want to leave it like this. Including require reviews. I think align any blah blah blah. Really? So it's just for Pro. Oh, that sucks. What the? 240? Okay, this is yearly. Whew, okay. So my team is 6 members. Really? Okay, fine. Each membership costs $40 per year. Okay. That is crazy. Okay, seems like I can't enforce what I wanted to enforce. I wanted to enforce that if anything fails, then, oh gosh, I do not have, I need an OTP and I do not have that device here. I'm still not happy because I really wanted to enforce that. Really wanted to enforce that. Okay, not possible. We have to upgrade. But yeah, this is good. We have everything that we need. So now we can have these checks just running. So let's do a recap. This was a very short session, mainly because I have fought with GitHub Actions over the last few months, and I kind of I've broken my teeth in with GitHub Actions, so it was a lot faster for me to be able to set this up from the ground up, but it can be very, very confusing at first. The syntax, the actions, the use of actions, and when to, spin up something of your own, when to have the steps, what to put on the steps, how to arrange it, how to think about your CI pipeline. So, recap, we created a pull request workflow that runs on every pull request opened against the develop branch or against the master branch. And our workflow, GitHub workflow, is essentially made up of jobs and steps. So each job can have multiple steps, and a job can depend on another job to run successfully. And we have 2 jobs in our pull request workflow. This can be as many jobs as possible depending on how complex your setup is. Our setup is not that complex yet. We're just getting started, and we don't even have that many tests yet. So that was the reason why I didn't do it at first, but it ended up being that I broke the code unknowingly, of course, because we didn't have this running in the CI. We didn't run our tests or build the application on every pull request, and it broke when we merged a PR into the develop branch, and that got picked up automatically by our Heroku automation, and that failed. So that is the main reason why I'm putting this now. Just because if it was easy for me to overlook that, it's definitely going to be easy for anybody else in the team to overlook that, and that's not acceptable. So what we've done is we've created 2 jobs, one for the unit test and one for the build. And on the unit test job, we essentially create an env file, and this env file is needed because one of the tests that we are running needs the values from the package from the process.env file, and from how would I say this? I'm trying to be as technical as possible. So we've created the env file, and we essentially put the secrets, the information that's in the env file. We should never check in an env file ever, because that's where your secrets are. And if you put that in, if you check that into your code base, there are people who write scripts to scan repositories every minute on GitHub, and they could find your env file, find your secrets, and just use it. So for us, what we want to do here is we want to, instead of putting the secrets verbatim into this pull request or YAML file, because we're also going to be checking this in to we're going to be checking this into our repo. We do not want the secrets to be out there, and how GitHub helps us to keep secrets or pass secrets to our CI is by using the secrets, the repository secrets or organization secrets on GitHub. we're able to do that. We put these two secrets on GitHub, and we're able to access that value with secrets dot. What we did here is we just echoed these two values to our env file. That's it. And then now we're able to run npm CI, which is just the same thing as npm install, but for CI. And what it does is, instead of just installing, it would first of all delete the node modules and then install the packages that are required in the package.json file. And after doing that, we can run npm test. So that's all for our unit test job. And then for our build job, we added this mainly because I love the way it looks in the UI and makes sense to run the unit test first and then build. So for here, we added this needs property, which tells us that the build job should be run when the unit tests pass successfully. And same thing, we're just selecting the machine, the virtual machine we would like to run on. Or I don't know if it's a virtual machine or it's a container. I'm not really sure. Let's see. Runs on is the type of machine to run the job on. So the type of machine to run the job on. The machine can either be a GitHub hosted runner or a self-hosted runner. So it's just a type of machine to run on. And we have steps. And for the steps, we check out the code. This is kind of like standard default. We have to always check out the code, because if you don't, how is the GitHub machine that you're running on going to know what code it should use? It wouldn't know. So this action / checkout, this is an action. Let me show here, just in case this is your first time interfacing with GitHub Actions. And I want to check stuff. Okay, then GitHub Actions Marketplace. Oh, there are lots and lots of actions that are in the marketplace. Let's check out the checkout. So this is the one we're using. There's a version 3 now. Dope. Did not know that. So this action checks out your repository under the GitHub workspace so that your workflow can access it. Period. That's what this is for. It's for us to be able to check out our repository into the machine where the workflow is going to be run. This is just the marketplace for different types of actions, different types of GitHub actions, and you can check the different types that we have. It's very, very interesting. You can see so many different types of actions, custom actions that you can use in your workflow to just make your workflow as seamless as possible. This is so interesting. So many GitHub Action that verifies plugin compatibility with any version. And you can also create your own custom actions as well. And let me show this very, very great resource if you're interested in learning how to work with GitHub Actions. There's a GitHub Learning here. This is what I used, and it's very, very perfect for me because I love to learn, hands-on. Watching the video sometimes doesn't help, especially for something as complicated as GitHub Actions. Especially if you don't have any experience doing something like this, you're not a Devops engineer. So this was my first time trying to do this, so I hit my head a lot against the wall at the beginning. But after I went through all the courses, let me show you which one. If you're really interested in this learning path, Devops with GitHub Actions. It has step by step. It has about 10 courses. I didn't go through these ones because the project I was working on was to migrate from Concourse CI to GitHub Actions, and that's not here, so I didn't go through it. I went through this. I went through everything except this. I don't use Azure yet. I have never used it. Hopefully someday in some project I get to use it, but it's not yet. And when I do, I'm going to come and watch this. But I didn't want to watch it because there was no point. So I did the first one, the second one, the third one, which is to publish to GitHub packages. I did that. I skipped the fourth. I did the fifth. This is writing JavaScript actions. So this can help you to create your own unique actions using JavaScript. And it's so simple. If you're a JavaScript developer, I promise you can do this. It's so simple. And also I did this one as well, and also using the GitHub Script. So this GitHub Script is just a special action that allows you to write, instead of writing this JavaScript action in a different file, because you would need like the AutoKit SDK. Instead of doing that, you can use the GitHub Script and write the JavaScript file inside of your workflow, which for some people, I know some people who like it. I particularly, on the other hand, am not really a fan because it's a lot harder to, because it's a YAML file, it's a lot harder to figure out, the right indentation. And if you mess that up, it's messed up. I don't like struggling with indentation. That's one reason I don't use Python as much, because it's just, you're struggling with indentation, and that doesn't make sense to me. I'd rather struggle with semicolons than struggle with indentation. So yeah, check this out. I think I'm going to put a link to it in the description, just so that in case you see this is brought to you by the GitHub training team, and it's really, really good. So thank you for tuning in this morning, and see you in the next one. Love you.